So last week we saw a lot of opportunities in the market, and some of these opportunities may have left us wondering how they actually came to be. So in this video, I'll actually be giving a full detailed breakdown of the possible trades you could have been able to catch last week, and also a detailed review of what actually happened in the market last week. So last week was huge. Last week was really massive, with lots of moves and opportunities, which I called a few on my Telegram channel, which if you're not part of it now, you could use the link in the description to sign up. So there were lots of moves. I think we didn't even get the best of the moves, and coming to review everything now, I'm seeing so much that the market displayed through the week. So in this video, I'll be covering everything that happened from Monday down to Friday, and how you would take advantage of those entries. And if you are someone that have been following us up here on this channel, you could actually see how you could practically put into play all the particular entries and everything that I've covered in this channel over time. So without any further delay, let's jump right into it. So first things first, the market open on Sunday actually gave a huge gap that fell as low as this, and I was actually kind of expecting this, but because I actually called the sell trade, but then I expected that price could actually maybe pick more entries around this level first before selling off towards this key support level to pick up the buys that would push up higher, but then price just decided to gap down with it. So with the market open now, the first move that would most likely be probable for me to take at this particular level is actually a buy, because already I was expecting that price would sell off down lower, taking out this low right here should sell off to take out this low. So after taking out this low, I expected that price would actually fall as low as this to hit this support level that I was looking out for, and I actually marked out that support level, I think from the, let's check the 4 hours time frame. I'm not quite sure. Yes, it was on the 4 hours time frame. So that was the level whereby I marked out that support. So after price opened and gapped into that level, the question now is, how can you actually take advantage to call this particular entry, or take advantage of this particular trade that I dropped here, or to something that will give you more confidence if actually you're part of the group and I drop it. So what you could easily do is after price has tapped into the support level, you could easily go down to somewhere like, let's say, 5 minutes time frame for confirmation. So when you come back down to 5 minutes time frame, this is one of the key importance of how you could actually dilute or mix up these multiple time frames to get your entries. So when you come back down to 5 minutes time frame now, you would notice what happened after the tap. Price was tried to recover and push back into the gap, but then immediately we saw a sell-off. That price took out this low and fell lower, leaving this particular FVG here. Then next thing we saw was price actually pushing into this FVG right here and selling off again, taking out this low right here. But then the next move that happened was price rejected and gave a nice full body close above this FVG level, leaving another FVG that it even tapped into. Automatically now, this is actually a clean sign that price is actually reclaiming that higher time frame buy level. So you could easily take your entries from this point and actually cover your stop to maybe chase somewhere around this level or as low as this. So I decided to mark it down as low as this, covering this particular POI here. So that was actually how I came about this entry, and you could see you could easily choose your target to go as high as the point whereby price filled out this gap. This was actually it. The point whereby price filled out this gap, you could take 50% of your profit at 50% of the gap, and then chase your final target at around that level. And you could see price actually delivered that beautifully. So this would have been a very beautiful early trade, but then it was actually something that happened during the Asian session. So let's go on to the next setup, which is this guy here. Let's go back up to 15 minutes. When we go back up to 15 minutes, let's go back up a bit again to 30 minutes. And when we come back up to 30 minutes, we tend to notice what happened here. Price reclaimed almost more than 50% from the point whereby it started recovering from this level. And if you notice, this region had a lot of buyers. Were around this level, trying to chip in their buys to push up higher, but then price took them out. Notice what happened when price came into that level. We started to see some form of reaction as though price wanted to sell off a bit lower or retrace back towards picking up orders around this level. But what we saw next was a break of structure, and after that price still came back for this guy, which is this other block right here, and started to push up higher. But then this particular candle came to pick more buy orders from this level to push higher, which it started to do. But then next thing, full body close, change of character right here, and price started to sell off. Sellers kicked in, picked up their sell orders from this point to sell off, and price started to sell off with it. But instead of price to actually hold this down for it to go down lower, price still came back, took out all those sellers at this particular level, then sold off again, taking out this low. But notice what happened. Some buyers now, the moment that this actually happened, whereby price actually closed above this high, when price pushed as high as this level, taking out these sellers at this point, they decided to look for a way to chip in their buy orders, failing to see that price failed to give a full body close above this particular high, whereby this high is actually the major guy right here. So that failure, because I said this because this particular guy here, this move here did not actually push up. I'm talking about this particular level here. This level here failed to close above this high, and next thing we saw, price buyers at this point were taken out again. But then tend to notice what happened after this particular stuff happened at this level. We saw a full body close that closed above this high now, and it left us with an FVG here. So a very sweet way to chip in now would actually be to take advantage of this particular FVG at this point. But then this particular trade is not something that is actually high probability, but it's something you could actually take advantage of. But most likely you would actually even get caught up at around this level because of there was so much noise at this level here. But then this is actually how it actually played out. But then it's not a high probability trade that I actually recommend actually. So coming down towards this was on Tuesday. Coming down towards Tuesday, price has successfully closed above this high that initially I expected that should be a way to fuel these moves that went down, but then price succeeded to close above it, and we even saw some form of rejection at around this level. But then price gave a full body close above that particular candle that showed that sign of weakness. So if you've been following us for a while now, this is a particular entry model that I use a lot. Before the full body close above the candle, price had already swept down the wick a bit lower, picking more orders from this level. So how I usually take these entries, I wait for the full body close above the candle, and after that full body close, you could take 50%. This is 50% right here. You could take 50% and keep your stop at the level whereby price swept liquidity from this guy right here. But if there was nothing like this, I'll actually keep my stop at this level, and you could see it actually held up pretty well. But then price, I think there was news or something at this particular time that day that was actually gave about this move here, but you could see it still failed to tap into that into the stop at this level. So it's actually very, very important. You should take note of the fact that if you are presented with something like this and there's a wick that actually swept liquidity from this guy right here before it broke higher, you should actually take note that for price to push up higher, you should take your trade and ensure that you cover this low right here, because when price closes below this low, that is when you can then expect to see some kind of bearish move that could actually do a lot of damage. So if we actually go down, you could see price actually smashed our target at this level, and this target was actually the main high that was sitting at this point right here, and price actually did well to close above it, since we already had a resistance level sitting at this level, but then we were able to give a full body close that broke out of this resistance, and it was able to hold up perfectly. So that was actually the bias behind why I called this particular trade here, or why I took this particular trade at this point here. So coming down to Wednesday, we saw another very similar stuff to what actually happened here with this resistance level here. We saw price closing above this particular high, but instead of price to be able to push up higher, price failed to do that. If despite picking orders and taking out the high from this point, price failed to still use this guys to push up higher, so it gave a change of character at this point here and sold off. So this is actually the basis to why I marked out this particular resistance level here. That's actually the basis to why I marked it out, because of everything that happened here. And most times if you tend to backtest, you would actually notice that this actually leads to a very high probability kind of setup that usually picks a lot of orders. And you could even see what happened next. I easily took sales down on Thursday from this particular level, keeping my stop somewhere at this high, because if you notice what happened here, we had a change of character at this level when price broke this high. Price tried to hold this guy to push up higher, but then failed, meaning that most likely if price is going to push up higher, it won't take out the stop at this level. So despite how choppy the market was on Wednesday, failing to pick up orders at this point, if you easily take this sell from this level right here, you could easily just use it as a target this low, and actually ran down beautifully here. It was actually a very beautiful setup. I think I called this particular sell at this level here, because if you notice what happened here, so another candle trying to pick up buy orders to push up higher, but the next thing we saw was a full body close below it. And if we take 50%, which is 50% right here, keeping our stops at this high, we could easily get a beautiful trade. And this is the basis behind why I call this particular trade here. And if you even notice what happened after the huge sell-off, we had this level here. There was like a fake out. That was the guy that actually picked our trades at this point, whereby this guy is an inducement. And if you notice what happened next, price came and tapped into this guy and gave some form of reaction as though it was going to push up higher. But then the next one that formed closed full body close and gave a beautiful break of structure at this level. So most likely you should expect that when price is coming back into the premium level, it will most likely pick up sell orders at this particular level that it once reacted to as a way to push up higher. And that's the basis behind why I marked this particular level out. And you could see it actually followed up a nice sell-off on that same Thursday. So if we should let's go back to about 30 minutes to 1 hour. Let's go back up to 1 hour. When we come back up to 1 hour time frame, you could see that when price bought up from this level here, where we had this buy, price left this beautiful OB sitting at this level, because price did not even actually fall back to tap into the discount level before it went higher. You could see this was the high that price took. It took this high, took these guys too. So you could easily use your FIB tool to check for the premium. You could easily use your FIB tool to check for the discount level, which you can see it was yet to tap into it. So a beautiful level to take a beautiful buyer would actually be with this particular candle right here. You can try to actually backtest multiple instances whereby this candle forms like this, and you would actually notice that, because there are a lot of scenarios whereby it forms like this, you notice that for almost all or most of them, it's actually usually high probability in some type of way. So it's actually price actually respects it and actually holds it. And you could see that despite tapping into this guy and tapping into that level again, price was able to hold that guy up and fell into this beautiful buy that price delivered to us on Friday. So basically, this is actually the basis behind most of these entries and most of these setups that actually happened during the course of last week. I didn't actually drop a weekly outlook last week. I had a lot to do that I was able to cover up, but then I will still be dropping a weekly outlook this week, and probably we could even get an extra bonus video. But then this is actually the basis of why I called some of these trades, and some of them we actually missed or made some mistakes. So this is actually the basis behind all of them. So if you actually go through this properly and just take notes of all of this, you will actually use this as a way to strengthen yourself for the new week, whether you back tested already or you're yet to or you're about to, anyone regardless though. So that's actually what I'm expecting for the new week. I'll be dropping the weekly audio video, and if by the time of recording this it's live, or by the time this video gets live, it's already, the weekly outlook is live, you can also find the link in the description. So thank you for watching, guys, and I love you all, and I will see you guys in the next one.